Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be a Marvel Avengers Age of Ultron Spider-Man video, but because the Agent Carter finale just happened, I'm just going to jam those videos together. So I'm going to start with the Spider-Man stuff first. So the really cool news is that Danny Elfman is writing music for Avengers Age of Ultron. I know, this is weird. His name appears on the poster they just released. Why is his name on the poster? Brian Tyler scored the film. So wait for it, drum roll. Obviously, probably going to be a Spider-Man post-credits scene that Danny Elfman is writing Spider-Man music for. For those that don't remember, Danny Elfman wrote the original Spider-Man music for the Tobey Maguire films. They still use that score. It's the one that everyone remembers. Brian Tyler's done music for a lot of Marvel films, but Danny Elfman did a lot of amazing music for the DC Warner Brothers films. My two favorite Danny Elfman tracks are the Michael Keaton Batman theme that they kept using through the animated series, and his original Spider-Man theme. If you haven't heard them, they're on Spotify right now, so you can actually listen to them for free. There's no confirmation on whether or not they've actually found their Spider-Man, the new actor that's going to play Spider-Man, but it seems like Spider-Man, at least in a mask, is going to appear at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron in like a really short scene. There'll be multiple post-credit scenes, and Spider-Man will be one of those. It's totally unexpected. I'm really excited. It's probably one of the best surprises that we could have heard about. Marvel's been releasing posters for Age of Ultron, like one a day, counting down, so when they release the final one, they'll probably make an announcement about that Spider-Man or release a new trailer. You guys can let me know how you feel about the idea of a Spider-Man post-credit scene in Age of Ultron. I think it would give us a look at what his costume is going to look like, at least even if we don't see the actor's face. While you guys think about that, careful for spoilers for Agent Carter. I'm just going to go through my top 5 moments and give my thoughts about where Season 2 is headed. They haven't confirmed Season 2, but it's a pretty safe bet they're going to get a Season 2. So starting with number 5, Howard Stark returns. I have to say the editing on this show is great. I always like it when characters enter a scene finishing other characters' sentences, and the thought that Howard Stark thinks White House security sucks. The whole point of this, though, was to explain what really happened at the Battle of Finau, what the deal with Midnight Oil is. Basically what happened is he was trying to create Stark-level no-dos for soldiers so that they wouldn't have to sleep, and things went crazy. The American general Howard Stark was working with stole his research, tested it on the Russians, and it ended up killing Fenhoff's brother and all their comrades. It makes this revenge story a little bit more personal, so I like the way they tied it back around to that, but I feel like they buried the lead a little bit. Moving on to number 4, Fenhoff explains to Howard Stark why he's punishing him. So I saw a lot of parallels between what's going on between Fenhoff and Stark and Ultron and Tony Stark in Avengers Age of Ultron, or you could say the Avengers in general. Fenhoff is upset that his brother died. He blames Howard Stark because in his mind, Stark doesn't think about the consequences of his actions. He creates weapons of mass destruction and chaos, and he wants justice for that. He wants to punish him. Ultron's hatred of Tony Stark and the Avengers in Age of Ultron is a little bit different, but it's pretty close. He wants to punish the Avengers because he perceives them as being super high on themselves and not willing to take responsibility for the missteps of humanity. Obviously, yeah, that's like a $150 million movie, and it's a little more cats in the cradle because Fenhoff and Howard Stark have no familial relationship, but you get the idea. Dottie and Fenhoff's characters are really interesting. They narrate what's going on in their heads, so we do find out where they're coming from psychologically. They're both really twisted, but in just like slightly different ways. Moving on to number 3, Fenhoff and Dottie explained. There's this really interesting difference between Fenhoff and Dottie when they're talking about New York City as an idea. Fenhoff is in quote-unquote marvel of American ingenuity and what it's built, what it's accomplished. New York is a testament to the idea that America is the land of opportunity and you can do anything you want. That's why he wants Howard Stark to be responsible for destroying it. Howard Stark represents the American ideal. He wants everyone to realize that there's a negative side to that. Dottie, on the other hand, seems like she wants to tear it all down because New York, Peggy Carter, the SSR, all represent things that she can't have and people that she can't be. It's like she's trying to fill a hole inside herself by boring a hole in Peggy's skull. So it's kind of like Marvel's version of haters gonna hate. Moving on to number 2, Fenhoff brainwashes Howard Stark and he thinks that he's rescuing Captain America. This is a lot of fun. I always like these dream sequences that Fenhoff gets. The logic is kind of fuzzy because supposedly people are reliving dreams that they've had, but based on the way they explain Fenhoff's powers, I suppose he could create things inside their minds. But he's basically manipulating Howard Stark's subconscious and conscious minds at the same time. That shield that Peggy had whenever she walked into the scene, that's the actual shield that they used in Avengers Age of Ultron. The one they had on set here was specially colored, but sometimes whenever they film with the shield, what they'll do is it'll be like a toned down color version, and then they'll add all that like silver and red and those really bright colors in post-production. Really fun Easter egg too, after they filmed the first Captain America movie, they gave that Captain America shield that he had in that to Stephen Colbert, so he has like the real deal first Captain America shield. The thing I really like about this Howard Stark scene is it humanizes him. It's like in the first Avengers film, whenever Tony Stark flies into the portal with a warhead. It's their way of atoning for all the crap that they put everyone through. And even though we've only seen a little bit of him, it does seem like Howard Stark isn't quite as high on himself as Tony Stark. To be fair though, if Howard Stark were to make himself like an Iron Man suit and fly around, he'd probably get super high on himself too. I think the best way to describe Howard Stark is constantly preoccupied. Preoccupied with women, preoccupied with technology. I really like the trinity that they have going on between him and Peggy, so hopefully Dominic Cooper will come back for season 2 if they get renewed. And of course, my number one moment, post-credits scene with Arnim Zola. So here's what the producers explained after the fact. Fenhoff is now officially connected to the Winter Soldier program, and now he's also part of Hydra. Zola unofficially inducts him into Hydra. Agent Carter always trying to loop back with the Captain America films. Usually it's the first Captain America film, but obviously this loops back to Winter Soldier. I think what'll happen in future seasons is we'll just see like less and less Captain America stuff. They included a lot of Captain America scenes in this series. I always love the integration with the movies, but I think over time what they're going to try and do is make Agent Carter so that it can stand on its own, so that it won't need all those Avengers scenes. As for Captain America Blood, you can make as many super fish jokes as you want. She poured it off the Brooklyn Bridge, so if there was any marine life down there, they might have got some extra juice. But I'm not sure anything could live in the East River. If you've never lived in New York, the East River is where they make all the jokes about dead bodies getting dumped. It's like one of the dirtiest bodies of water in New York. So odds are nothing is living down there, so she should be fine. Cut to season 2 when a fish crawls out of the water looking kind of like Captain America. Let me know though, what was your favorite moment? And if they do get a season 2, what do you want to see them do next? Like what storyline do you want to see them do? Just to explain what's going on with that, Marvel isn't in control of whether or not it gets a season 2. That's ABC's job. I saw a lot of people tweeting at Marvel. They're like, hey, we want you to renew it, but Marvel has nothing to do with it. They want a season 2 just as bad as you do. ABC is the one that has to say, okay, yeah, we're ordering more episodes. If they do, there's a lot of logical jumping off places. Like they just left a lot of hanging threads on purpose. Like Dottie escaped, so she's going to come back. Peggy and Angie now living at Howard Stark's house. Jarvis probably going to come back and help them. Howard Stark probably show up every once in a while too. I think one thing I was kind of disappointed by in this season that I'm hoping we see in season 2 is the creation of S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually created in 1946. That's the year that this show takes place. So because they didn't show it, it's hard to tell whether or not they're changing the timeline or if they're just fudging on how long this was from like start to finish. It seems like the show, like from episode 1 to episode 8, took place in like a relatively small time frame, like a matter of weeks. I would expect that season 2 would pick up within like a couple weeks or a couple months of that. So we're still in 1946. For those that are asking about Leviathan, so here's what I think was going on. They kind of fudged what was going on with that a little bit. In the comics, Leviathan is a Russian organization. It's like the Russian version of Hydra. On the show, they made it seem like that did exist. Fenhoff was a part of it. It's part of a Russian military organization, but Fenhoff himself was working on his own. So it'd be like Red Skull enacting a big Hydra plan and Arnim Zola going off and doing his own thing for a little bit. That's why they might do some more Leviathan stuff in season 2, but because Arnim Zola appeared and now Fenhoff's going to be part of Hydra, they might start leaning into Hydra a little bit. I think it's more likely that if Agent Carter is going to get season 2, season 3, they'll start to jump back and forth more between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But for those that are wondering, Peggy Carter is going to be in Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't know if it's going to be a flashback or a hallucination, because there will be flashbacks like Captain America will flash back to the 1940s, but I don't know if that's going to be a fantasy sequence or if it'll be stuff that actually did happen. For those that are asking, I have no idea if Toby Jones would be in a future season of Agent Carter. I mean, it's possible he might get cameos, but it just depends on who they want to make the main villain of the season. What I'd really like to see them do is go back to Vanko and do a Crimson Dynamo storyline. That'd be really awesome. So in related news, Arrow episode 15 is tonight. They're going to Nanda Parbat, going to be big Ra's al Ghul storyline. So be sure to subscribe to get that video. I'll post it after the episode airs. I haven't done my Flash bonus video yet, so I'll probably post that tomorrow just so I have enough time to do it. I just got some new audio gear that I'm really excited about. I'm not using it on this video, but hopefully I'll have it hooked up by the time I do my Arrow video. So hopefully this will sound nicer. While you guys wait for Arrow tonight, you can click here to catch up, and you can click here for all my Agent Carter videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.